Hello, once again. We are back with a new video on digestive system, parts of the digestive system. We are going through the different parts of the digestive system in short videos, but in detailed discussion about their structure, about their function. So in the last class we have discussed about stomach, but today we will discuss about another very important part of the digestive system, which is the small intestine. Now, most of the digestion, why small intestine is important, I must say, most of the digestion and absorption of the nutrient occur in a long tube, which is known as the small intestine. So let us today start with small intestine. Welcome to Educators, myself Manishta Chatterjee. Without much delay, let us start with small intestine and its discussion. As you can see in this picture, so it is the longest portion of the GI tract. It is the longest portion of the GI tract. We don't understand it, but we just don't get it how long it is because it is very coiled. Okay, so it is very coiled and it is guarded by the long intestine. So large intestine rather. So it is very much coiled. Okay, so it is the longest portion of the GI tract, about 6 meters in adult, and it starts with the pyloric sphincter from the stomach, and it coils through this different part of the stomach, different part of the digestive system, the inferior part mainly of the abdominal cavity. It coils and turns and all, and eventually opens into the large intestine. So at one end you have the stomach with the pyloric sphincter, and at the other end you have the large intestine. In average, if you say, it is 2.5 centimeter in diameter and it is 3 meter long in a living person. Okay, so now coming to the main three segments or main three part of sorry main three part of the small intestine. One is the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. So over here it is mentioned that how much long each section is. So it is basically divided into three main segments. The one which is connected to the stomach, or the main part or the coiled part, it is duodenum. It is named so because duo means uh, 12, and it is about 12 fingers width. It contains about 12 fingers of width, so it is named so. We can say that duodenum among the other parts of the small intestine is most proximal, and it is the shortest segment of 25 centimeter long, and it is present or placed in the uh, or around the head of the pancreas. There is secretion of, so this is the pancreatic duct, we can say this is the common hepatic duct or the liver, and this is the gallbladder which is expanded. Okay, so secretion of all the gallbladder, it comes through the pancreas through the common bile duct, where it is covered or closed by the sphincter of Oddi, as we can see over here. So it is guarded by the sphincter of Oddi. Now jejunum, it is about 2.5 meters long, and it is in between duodenum and ileum, or the first part and the last part. Over here we have shown you the microscopic view of each segment or each section. Jejunum means empty, so it is about it is mostly empty when at the time of death. And ileum is 3.5 meters long, leads to the cecum of the large intestine, or the first part of the large intestine, and guarded by the ileocecal sphincters. Mainly it controls the material from the ileum to the cecum, or the undigested portion. Digestion or and absorption also takes place in these part, because it has villi which are finger like projections held for absorption. The unabsorbed food material, it moves into the ileum, and through the when the ileocecal sphincter is open. Okay, and it also prevents the regurgitation. That means it does not help in backflow. Okay, so this is more or less about the structure of the small intestine. Next, coming to the different functions of the small intestine. As you can know, as you know, that small intestine is the basic or the main portion of digestion. All gastric juices, all carbohydrate splitting enzymes, all fat splitting enzymes, and bile, everything comes and mixes in the small intestine, and it forms the mixing bowl of the of the body, we can say. So we will discuss about the different functions structure wise. Like first, all the food material from the stomach, it comes to the duodenum. It also receives a secretion from the liver and pancreas, the bile duct, by through the bile ducts, and it uses these secretions to extract nutrients from the food. Okay, so it mainly takes the nutrients from the food and uh, passes on the food to the jejunum, which is the major site for absorption. It has the villi or the finger-like projections, which gets absorbed into the blood, and the unabsorbed material, it moves through the ileum to the ileocecal, sphincter to the cecum, or the first part of the the large intestine. And definitely it is a passage from the small intestine to the large intestine or the colon. The basic functions, it's mainly all the chemical digestion takes place here. Sugars, proteins, digestion takes place here. Fatty acids and glycerols, they split and move into the lymphatic system. As I've mentioned, there is a structure of villi present over here, and it helps in the movement of the absorption of the food materials, and the unabsorbed food materials, they move down. So main functions is chemical digestion and absorption of 90% nutrients from the chyme. It also helps in the vitamin B12 absorption, and as I've shown over here, bulk of chemical digestion takes place in the duodenum and the jejunum, and jejunum also help in absorption of the nutrients. Now, mixing bowl and acid neutralization, this is a very important function of the duodenum, because stomach is highly acidic, as I've mentioned, because of the presence of corrosive HCl. So the food or the chyme which is formed in the stomach, it is acidic in nature, and in that acidic medium or that high acidic medium, none of the the digestive juices can function. So it has to be neutralized, or it has to be the acidity of the chyme has to be reduced, which is done by the duodenum. So this is one of the very important function of duodenum in the body. Now it also help in the secretion of the hormone cholecystokinin, CCK, and secretin, and also the microbial action, which the microbes which has survived the HCl, that also gets denatured, or that also gets broken down into in this small intestine. So after small intestine, the part which is connecting the small intestine is the uh, large intestine. It is about 1.5 centimeter long, and it is starting at the cecum, the ileocecal sphincter, as I've said, and it is terminating at the anus through the rectum. Okay, so this is 6.5 centimeter in diameter. So here the large intestine is large because of its diameter. Okay, so cecum, it is the first part of the large intestine, and it has the vermiform appendix, which is a fine tube, as we know, and it is usually about 8 to 9 centimeter long. Okay, now Before we go to the different functions of the large intestine, we will like to discuss about the different parts of the large intestine. So starting with the ascending colon, which passes upwards through the cecum to the level of the liver. So this is the liver. This is around the backside of the stomach. We have the position of the liver. So it is at around, it moves up to that. So it is an ascending colon, and then it curves, okay, curves to the transverse colon. So this portion is the transverse colon. It forms a loop over the small intestine. So it is actually, see, the guarding, or it's like a garland around the small intestine. So this part is the ascending colon, this part is the vermiform appendix. Now this is the transverse colon, and it again down, it moves downward, which is known as the descending colon, and then it moves in an S shaped, which is the S shaped over here, through the rectum to the anus. It opens out. So this S shaped structure is known as the sigmoid colon. Then we have slightly dilated, about 13 centimeter long rectum, and an opening or the anal canal, we can say that the anus. It is guarded by two sphincters. One is the internal sphincter and another one is the external sphincter, which actually regulates the skeletal and the voluntary control of the anus. Okay. Now coming to the function of the large intestine, basically absorption of water and electrolytes, water, vitamins, minerals, these are all absorbed, reabsorbed. It helps in the synthesis of intestinal bacteria, and vitamin K and B. Definitely, it is a temporary storage of the feces. Still, it doesn't create a pressure and it moves out. Helps in the elimination of waste from the body. Now, what happens when the undigested food materials forming stool, they moves from the undigested food materials, they moves into the cecal point, and they moves up, ascending, transverse, descending, sigmoid. What happens, all the nutrients, they are reabsorbed, and the hard stool or the stool is formed, okay, and the feces then across the intestinal wall, and the semi-solid mass of the feces is formed after absorption of all the nutrients from the undigested material, and then it moves through the rectum to the anus out of the body. So this is how the whole functioning of the large intestine takes place. It helps in the defecation process. Another thing that it has, it is colonized, heavily colonized by some bacteria like Escherichia coli, Enterobacter aerogens, Streptococcus faecalis, Clostridium perfringens. It is there. These are all there in the colon, in the large intestine. Okay. So that's all for today. We have discussed different parts of the small intestine, functions of the small intestine in short, because when we will learn the digestion process in detail, we will be learning about them again, about each and every digestive juices in detail, and we have also learned about the structure and function of the large intestine. So I hope this part is clear to you. That's all for today. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, educators. And for more notifications on updates, you just have to put the bell icon. If you have any query, if you want anything more that could be added to educators, the videos of educators, please don't forget to mention in the comment box below. Thank you. That's all. Bye.